everybody, welcome back to another video. So today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to take you through my process. So a lot of what I do before I reach my desk is in Photoshop. And last week I did a layout where I barely used any Photoshop. And then this week my layout is fully Photoshop. So the first thing I'm going to do is take you into the Project Life app because the kit I'm mainly using comes from one of the kits that can be found inside of this app. So you're going to need to download the Project Life app. And once you're in the app, this is what you'll see. So you're going to press create, then you're going to press small print. You're going to then click on a box and you want to click the little cards on the side. Then that will prompt you to pick a kit. The kit I'm working with is called the Hopscotch Edition. So I'm just going to find that and select that. Now what you're going to do is find a card that you want to work with. And I'm going to grab this little card that says this world is your playground. And I'm just going to scroll through and find another one. And I'm going to pick a filler card that I thought I was going to use, but I'm not going to use. So once you have your cards picked, you're going to want to save it to your phone. And I'm going to save mine by clicking on that box at the bottom with the arrow pointing up. I'm going to press export 4:6 image. And then I'm going to save it to my camera roll. So it'll say save image. That's how I'm going to save it to my camera roll. There we go. And now I'm going to show you how to do it if you had a 4:6, a 6:4, I'm not sure. But if your card was going that way and it was a bigger card, you could, so this edition, right? Some cards are only in this orientation, like this card, it's only in this orientation, which is the 6:4, and I want to make that into a 3:4. So I'm going to save it how it comes, and then in Photoshop, I'll just shrink it down to a 3:4. That's basically what I'm doing here. And then after that, I'm going to take you back over to my computer and we're going to get started. So now that we're back over to my computer, we're going to create a template. And this template is going to be 24 inches wide by 12 inches high. The resolution is going to be 300 pixels per inch, and we're going to press create. First thing I'm going to start by doing is grabbing my title card, and my title card comes from the lilypad.com. It's the same one I've been using. It's from the designer Just Jamie, and I'm just going to pop that into this template. I'm going to call this a spread. I'm going to pop that into this spread, and I'm going to add a black line around it by going to edit and stroke, making sure that my color is black at 2 pixels per inch. So that's how I always start, and then at the very end I'll figure out which color I want to change that to. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of my photos. So I'm going to just grab a couple, start editing them, and I'll work on the cards more towards the end. So I'm just doing some basic editing on this picture of Alina. I am just brightening it up, just playing with some of the settings until I get it to how it looks nice to my eye. I'm not a professional at this. Basically, I just want to brighten up the picture. And once I have it to where I like it, I am going to change the height and the width to 2.75 by 3.75. This will allow me to have a white border around my photos when I go to print it out. And actually, I forgot to show you guys how I printed with a white border around, but if that's something you're interested in, you can just leave me a comment and I'll definitely show you how I did that. So I didn't like the first edit that I did, so I'm just touching it up a little bit right here, and then I'm going to delete the first one and save this one. So once you have all your I don't know what you call those. Once you have it edited how you like, you need to press merge visible to make everything one piece. So that's what you saw me doing there. And now that I have that photo, I'm going to work on a card. So after I save those cards, that I made in the Project Life app. I saved them to my phone. I sent them over to my computer. Now I'm going to use one of them. So we have this one here that says the weather today, and that's how it comes into your computer. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cropping off one side, and I'm going to copy and paste it right into that spread. I'm going to save that, and then move that out of the way, and then I'm going to paste that right into the spread. I'm also going to put a stroke around that one just so that I can see where the edges are. Making it 3 by 4 because the dimensions were off just a little bit. And then I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. So now I'm just looking through what I already have that I can use from Becky Higgins. So since this one kit that I'm using is from Becky Higgins, the Hopscotch edition, I want to see what else I have in here that I may have inserted into my computer at a later time. And these are from that edition. So I found a card that I thought I was going to use. This card right here, it's a green card. It says, "This makes me so incredibly happy." I wind up scratching it and not using that card, but for right now, we're just going to go with it. I'm going to add a stroke around it, same thing, and then I'm going to go find a picture to go with it. So this is kind of how I do my process. I'll either do all of my cards first or all of my pictures first. Today I'm doing a mixture, but then I will abandon this idea and stick to just doing all of my photos first and then my cards. I kind of forgot that I was recording a video, so in the beginning I'm all over the place, so I apologize about that. So we have this picture here of Alina at the park, and the swing was green, so that's kind of my thought process behind going with that green card. So once I have that edited, I'm just gonna paste that right on into the spread. I'm gonna change the size, 2.75 by 3.75. Yep, as soon as I get that. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep going. So I'm going to grab. Okay, so what happened was I stopped recording. Alina woke up. So right now, that picture you see with the lady in the blue and the girl in the pink, my daughter had picture day, and I'm part of her PTA, so I wanted to document that I was helping out with that. So I have this card from a Becky Higgins kit in the Project Life app. It's called Click. What I'm going to do is just isolate that part right there that says smile, click, repeat. And I'm going to use the object selection tool to do it. So I'm going to grab that tool, I'm going to trace around that box, and I'm going to press copy. I'm going to get me a new 3 by 4 card, and I'm going to paste that into it. And it just isolates the element that I surrounded. So this is going to give me a title for my card. I'm going to grab a text box, and I'm going to include some text. And if that went a little bit fast, I'll be doing that again with another element, so you'll get to see it again. So I'm going to get my journaling done, and now I'm going to put a stroke around that just so I can see it better again. Moving things around, I'm going to abandon this idea to get it all figured out here because it's just going to be too much. So now I have this. What am I doing? Oh, so what I'm doing now is I'm creating a new canvas, 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to label it cards at the top because this is like the paper, is going to represent the paper that I'm printing my cards on. So I'm going to grab that card, and I'm going to go to that canvas, and I'm going to press copy and paste. And I copied and pasted it into this canvas, and when I go to print my cards, that's the page it's going to print on. So this picture we have of Alina, she's playing in the park. Once again, I'm just quickly doing all of my adjustments, whichever ones I'm going to do. And once that's done, I'm going to press merge visible, layer, merge visible. I'm going to copy and paste it into my spread. I'm going to change the dimensions, 2.75 wide by 3.75 high. And I'm just getting that where I want it to be for right now. So then I have this email that my husband had. Basically, I'm telling the story about how we went to Costco, and that's how we ended our day at the park. But this is the only photo that I have of us in Costco. So I'm just editing it, some quick edits, and then I'm gonna get that into the spread as well. I just blurred out what that email said because it's nobody's business, it's his. So I'm gonna merge visible and get that into the spread as well. Changing the dimensions. There we go. Okay, next photo. Yeah, this is Grandma Cindy and Alina. So we went for a walk this week by the lake, and I'm just getting my edits done on this photo, and I'm gonna drag that into my spread as well. These photos are outside with some natural light, so it didn't really need too many edits, but I did just want to brighten it and spruce up the colors a little bit. I could have done a better job on this one actually, now that I'm looking at it. Okay, so changing the dimensions again, and now at this point I think I'm just going to keep going with all of my pictures before I start doing the cards. I think it was at this point, yeah, I realized, oh yeah, you're filming, so you need to kind of do it like an assembly line type thing. So we have now the photos that I have already put in the spread. I'm just going to save them and X them out. This one, my husband cooked dinner this week. This is a Turkish dish. It's called lahmacun. It's kind of like a Turkish pizza. He really surprised me with this one. It was so good, and I did not have high hopes for it. So I'm definitely going to want to document that. I'm just putting that into my spread, and you can see throughout the week these are the type of pictures that I'm choosing, right? So not all of them will, all the pictures you see me edit, not all of them will make it into the spread. But what I did is I said, okay, if I have two pictures from one day or two pictures from one event, which one do I really like? Or if I'm stuck between two, which one has a story that is more meaningful to me? And that's kind of how I choose which pictures to include into my spreads. Or if I know I have a card or something that definitely goes with this photo, I'm definitely going to choose that photo, especially to use up some materials. So we went out to eat, and this is a good example. You'll see this photo I don't include because I have another photo from the same night that was more meaningful to me than just talking about what we ate. So this one is not going to make it into the final spread. But I have it if I ever want to tell another story about it in a different area. So I'm just going to save that and close that up. Layla had her spring pictures. So this picture was in the morning. The sun was shining. It's kind of yellow tone. Her teeth are not yellow, but I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit because we did have like the sunrise was coming up. So I'm just grabbing the dodge tool, and this tool just brightens up anything that you run it across. So I'm just running it across her teeth, and then I'm going to brighten up the entire photo with my basic edits. But that's a good tool to use if you did want to brighten up someone's teeth in a picture. Just drag the dodge tool right over it. So now I'm just doing my little edits, and this is a dress she wore for her spring pictures. I'm just going to grab that and include that into my spread, changing up the dimensions. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to, I have a couple of more photos that I'm going to edit. And then I'm just going to, this one I'm not going to use because I already have that photo that includes the photographer. That one I already did. And then this one, I was still debating which one I wanted to use, that one or this one. I didn't want to waste time editing it. Okay, so now I'm just grabbing my last few photos. I'm going into where I have them saved. I think I only have 3 more. A couple more. Okay. It's so hard deciding which pictures to use. This is the thing that I want to make sure I have enough pictures and enough cards and enough storytelling. This is the part that always gets me. It's better to have too many photos than to have not enough though. Always want to have too many to choose from. So here you're going to see me edited this photo. I'm going to use another tool on the sidebar. I'm going to use the dot. I gotta find out the name of this tool, but basically it's like a spot healing tool. So I'm just cleaning up some of the garbage that was in the top of this window right here, and I just took the tool and I'm just clicking on whatever I want to erase, and it's basically gonna just erase it. You can use it for like blemishes and things like that, but I often use it to clean up trash that is in my pictures. So I'm gonna find the name of that tool because I'm not really sure the name of it off the top of my head. But that's a good tool to have and to use. Okay, so here goes the next photo. I grabbed a matcha latte and a cheese Danish that one of my friends on Instagram recommended to me. So I was really excited to try this out. I could have done a better job editing this now that I'm looking at it, but what's done is done, right? Um, so once I got this done, yeah, I should have added a little bit more vibrance, but once I get this done, I am going to pop that into the spread. So always remember, anytime after you finish your editing, you want to merge visible before you pop it into your spread. Just making some space for this one now, because we're getting pretty full. I was still trying to use that weather card. It doesn't make it into my spread in the end, but I was trying hard because it was such a nice week and I definitely wanted to include that. So here is a lunch that I had with some of the ladies that are also on the PTA at my daughter's school. I am just quickly editing our photo. Curves is the tool that I'm using right now, and it just adds a little bit more brightness to your photos. So there goes that one. I could have took a lot of this out, but I definitely wanted to show you guys um, how I edit my photos, because this was something that I struggled with when I first started to do hybrid. I found there weren't a lot of people showing how they edited their photos. Since my husband and my daughter, we went out to eat. So this is the last one I'm going to edit, and then I'm going to start working on my cards. So at this point I was like, okay, whatever has not made it is not going to make it, because I don't even have space, as you can see, for pretty much any more cards. So the rest of these I'm just going to get rid of and call it done. And then I'm just going to move on to my cards. So then I decided I'm not going to use the weather card at this point. I'm still making some selections at this point. Okay. I'm still trying to use that weather card. So I'm going back into that Becky Higgins folder that I have. Once I find it, there we go. And I'm going to use some more elements from the Hopscotch edition. Um, yeah. So I'm just going to open up a couple of cards. I definitely want to use that What a Doggone Good Time um, for this card with Grandma Cindy, because she owns a dog grooming place, and that's how we know her. So I thought that this card went perfectly for what I wanted to say about the photo of her and Alina. So I'm just going to grab a new 6x4 card. I'm going to merge visible so that it becomes one piece, the background and this card. I'm going to type my journaling, add it on, and then just get it into position. And how you add your journaling is you're going to go into your tools panel, you're going to grab that T and draw a box and then type your journaling in. So I put this position kind of towards the bottom because I do want to add a title at the top. Even though it says what a doggone good time, I do want to add something else. At this point, I'm not sure what. I just know I need to leave a little bit of space. The next card I'm going to grab is going to be this Your World is a Playground card. So this is how it comes. This is how I saved it. You guys saw that. I only want to use the playground side, so I'm going to crop that off. And I want this to be a 6x4. So I'm just going to grab a 6x4 canvas and I'm going to copy and paste that card into the 6x4 canvas. So what I want to do is extend that little sand. So I'm going to copy and paste it again. I'm going to pick up the color of the sand and switch it to my background so that I can, when I erase, it's going to be the same color as the sand. It's kind of hard to understand. If you ever need me to explain it again, slow down, isolate this clip and show you again, I literally have no problem doing that. Just let me know. So basically what I'm going to do is erase this the world is your playground, and I'm going to erase the slide at the top for the right hand portion of it. First I need to merge visible. I was trying to do it and it wasn't working because I didn't merge my layers. Once I have that done, now I can just erase all of that. Yes, I'm going to just erase all of that. So first the saying at the bottom, and then I'm going to move on to the slide at the top. Being very careful to get all the feet and things like that. And I'm going to switch my background color to white. When you erase, it'll erase to the color that is in your background. So I switch my background color to white, and now I can erase the slide. Just being very careful so that it doesn't look choppy. It looks very nice and it looks very seamless. So I want my journaling to go on the bottom of this sand. I'm calling it, I don't know what it is, but I guess it's sand. I want my journaling to go on the bottom. So I need to remove this world is your playground. And I want to change it. So I'm going to grab the object selection tool again, and I'm going to trace around this phrase. And then it's going to get these little dash lines around it, which tell me that it's worked. I'm going to copy it and paste it in the position where I want it. So I just need to grab that layer and then just move it. I'm going to bring that background back. And now that I have it positioned somewhere else, now I can go in and erase it from the ground, from the sand, and now I have a clear spot to do my journaling. It sounds kind of confusing. Like I said, if you need me to slow down or you want to learn how to do that, it's not something you're familiar with, I can definitely slow it down and show you again. So now I'm just figuring out where I want to position this. And I think at the top is pretty good. I'm going to add my journaling to the sand. Yeah, I'm trying to center it. So Photoshop helped me get that nice and centered. And then at first I had my text here, but when I put it into my spread, it looked too, I don't know what's the word, but it looked like too top heavy. Like there was nothing going on at the bottom. There was no kids. There was no nothing. So I went in and switched it up. And you'll see me do that in hopefully a second. I don't know. I must have walked away. and I've forgotten to edit this part out. So there we go. So now I'm fixing it, and I'm going to just drag this across, and now my journaling is going to be at the bottom. There we go. I just needed to add a little bit more. So we're almost done here. This is one of the last few cards that I have to edit. And now I'm going to add that into my spread and delete the other one. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to show you something, but... Oh, okay. I'm adding the stroke around it. There we go. So now I'm going to delete that one, move this one over, and what's up next? So I'm pretty much done. I don't know still why this weather card has made the cut, but I eventually don't print it out. So I'm just figuring out what I have to do and things like that. Actually, we have quite a bit more to go. Sorry about that. I don't know why I thought I was done. But I need to start saving cards to my... I was going to use this, but I didn't. I need to start saving cards to my printout. So I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to put it onto this canvas, and I'm just rotating it 90 degrees so that I can fit multiple onto one card. So I got that one, and now I'm going to grab this one, the doggy one, and save that one on there too. Okay, so next up we're going back into that Becky Higgins folder, and now I'm going to show you how that butterfly card, it was originally the 6 inches tall by the 4 inches wide, and you'll see when I add it, that's how it was. You'll see when I add it to a 3x4 canvas, it still has that original dimensions. I'm just going to shrink it right down to fit onto this 3x4 card. Just stretch it out, and there we go. And that's how you would do that to switch it, because some of them are only offered in that dimension, and you have to change your card to be that dimension in order to even see them. So now I'm just journaling about Layla's spring pictures onto this card. Still trying to make that weather card work. It is not going to work this week. So I'm just getting things rearranged. At this point in time, I'm seeing like, okay, we're getting pretty filled. How many more cards do I need? I'm thinking, are there any physical cards that I want to use? And there is going to be one physical card that I use from the April Cocoa Daisy kit. I'm going to show you what I do as a placeholder when I'm using a physical card, but I still need to plan out my space. So I'm going to be working on another card. It's talking about that latte that I had. So I saved this card from another Becky Higgins kit. The name escapes me. But basically, I just want the coffee cup. So I'm going to come in and get the object selection tool. And well, first I'm going to do the eraser tool. And I'm going to erase that saying at the bottom. I really didn't need to, but... then I'm going to get the object selection tool, and I'm going to trace that coffee cup. I'll get the dashed lines around it, and I know I'm good to go. And then I am going to copy and paste it into a new card. My daughter was helping me, so my youngest daughter, Alina, so that's why it's a little bit all over the place. So I'm going to copy, get a new 3x4, and then paste. And I'm just showing you that because the whole video I realized I was using the shortcuts. So that's why I just showed you how to go down to the drop menu and do it. So now I have my journaling. Just getting that into position. And then merge visible to get everything all in one layer. I'm going to shoot that into my spread. Okay. What's next? So next I needed to work on that weather card, and that's going to be a physical card from the April Cocoa Daisy kit that is called Meadows, and it's talking about a rainy day. So I'm just going to write right here that is a physical card, and I'm just going to add that into the spread, so it's like a placeholder for the card. I know that I don't have to worry about that because I have something physical going in that spot. The next one that I want to work on is going to be this PTA photo. So I'm kind of getting to the wire, right? Now I have to start making some uh, cuts. So that photo of my husband and that email, that I had two photos from that day, the park photos. So that email, I really didn't need it. Okay, so next up we have this card that I'm going to add some journaling to, and it's going to talk about this lunch that I had with my PTA friends, and I'm just trying to see if it fits the look that I'm going for, if it's going to fit in nicely, and it does. So I'm just going to add my journaling onto this card. Voila. And get it into position, and then I am going to pop that back into my spread. And then here we are. So now that that's done, I am just going to be looking, all of my spaces are finished. I'm just going to be looking for the last finishing touches. So I have these two food cards here, thinking which one I want to talk about. That burger is actually from the same day as that picture of my husband and my daughter. So I decided to talk about the other dish, which was a dish that my husband made. And now I'm just getting everything to where I think it'll be. I will abandon this idea because it's actually too much going on in order for me to, and I don't have that physical card. So it's too much for me right now to try to figure out a placement of it. But I am going to try for just a little bit. So now that I'm finished with that, I need a journaling card for that dish that my husband made. So I am going to go into another folder. This is my Allie Edwards folder. And in the Eat Story kit, there is a card. They put it in as like an embellishment. I don't know. It says like the story of this meal. So I've never owned the physical kit of this card, so I don't know what the actual piece was, but I think on here it says like notepad or something like that. So I'm just gonna grab that, and then I'm going to pop it into here, and I'm going to type my journaling, and that's going to be for the um, the food card. So that little note came up that said I didn't have enough space, and all I had to do was just go through my computer, delete some photos, delete some videos, and then I had enough space to continue. So if you ever get that message, it just means that you have to delete some space. So now I'm done. I'm told all the stories that I wanted to tell, and I'm going to show you how I print things out. So we're moving back to this card here, where you saw I had it saved as cards. I'm going to save a copy. I'm just going to save it as cards, something, something. I'm going to save it as a JPEG to my desktop. Press OK. And I am going to then come to my desktop, click it, File, Print. For my computer settings, I'm printing this on a plain paper, changing my settings, and then I want to make this borderless so that it prints true to size. And I am printing my journaling cards at home on my XP 15,000. So we've come to the end of the video. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, give me a thumbs up and leave me a little comment. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now.